Hey, it's Heidi from A Lively Hope, and today we're going to finish up this big sketchbook. So, I am an avid sketchbook keeper, a longtime art journaler, and regular journaler, all kinds of journaler. I bought this large style sketchbook. I think it's 9 by 13 inches or something, just normal. I mean, larger than my normal size. And I've had it for years and just never really got into working in this size, this scale. Um, I like most of the pages that I have completed in it. I hate some, but that is the point of a sketchbook in my mind, is you just get stuff out, you try new things. You're not going to love everything that you have in a sketchbook. At least I don't. And I have had several pages in here that are not complete. And like we have talked about before, I really like finishing things. I like to use up what I have. And so I'll often set myself a goal to finish a sketchbook before I buy a new one. And then buying the new one is my reward for making the bad art or finishing the art I don't love so that I can move on to something fresh. So that's where we are with this one. I need to get it finished in order to be able to buy a new one. So I will flip this around and show you some. I'll flip through the pages that I have completed, and then together I will show you how I finish the ones that I either haven't started or haven't completed, and then this will be a finished sketchbook. Okay, let's flip through this large sketchbook. It's a little bit hard to get it all in the frame because it's so big. I'll do my best. So this is moleskin? Moleskin? Yes, it is. And I believe it's 9 inches by 13. So there are a few places that still have some kind of blank areas like that. My original plan was to use this as kind of a gratitude journal / sketchbook where I sketch and paint things that make me happy each day. So I had a few things on here and then came back over time and added and filled in spots that were not full. So that's kind of what you'll see as it progresses. So my oldest, just some nature things. This was a bowl I was given, and then just some practicing. Again, lots of nature sketching, and then filling in blank spots with patterns. I did really like this one, and I hated this one. This is my youngest. That did not turn out great. Lots of mountains, because I love them. I was pretty happy with this one as well. This is in southern Utah, where we live more in the northern area. So I have over the last few months worked on filling in some of these pages. There was something else under this that I didn't like, and so I ended up just using acrylic paint over the top and did some journaling and recorded just a nice interaction that I had at an art market. This is not actually what my house looks like, but just kind of a cozy moment, pretend moment with myself and my 2 younger kids. This is working out some ideas for ornaments for future Christmas. I do a new Christmas ornament kit every year. So this is just kind of playing around with some ideas. I had some thoughts about doing some Hobbit themed pieces. So this is Frodo and Sam. If you know me in person, you know that Sam is my very favorite character, maybe in all of literature. I will cry if you talk to me about Samwise Gamgee. I love him so much. My family likes to tease me. This is still being developed. That's what I think a sketchbook is for. It's an idea. I love this idea of Sam and Frodo around a campfire, and then the light around them fading to darkness. That feels symbolic on many levels with that story, as well as just kind of a cool piece to create. So I will come back and look at this again. This is obviously just a very rough idea. And then a little Hobbit house. Some fall leaves and some flowers, just kind of playing with covering the whole page with different nature elements. This is, I'm still trying to develop my kind of illustrative style for faces. And this started as a page that I didn't like, and so I covered it up and covered it up and covered it up. And this is just how it's going to be. I might come back and add a quote here. I don't know for sure, but we make bad art in order to make good art, and I have to remind myself that all the time. This is not my favorite thing I've ever made, but I made it and it's done, and we move on. I do like these. I think this is another page that I covered up what was under there with acrylic paint and then just some pattern on top. This is one I think I'll finish. I'm imagining just some line work in these blank spaces. So you might see me working on that in just a few minutes. This is another southern Utah landscape. More flowers, as always. Lots of flowers in my work. This was an idea that didn't get very far. I might come and finish these. I'm just kind of annoyed by it, and so maybe I'll just leave it and move on. Obviously, the idea was to fill each tree with a different pattern. I did this. I had carpal tunnel surgery earlier this year, and could not use my hands for an extended period of time. And so I think I made all of these with my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand. And so it was just kind of I need to make something. I can't use my hands very well. So I'm going to just do some splodges on the paper, and then I can't really do this detail work with my left hand very well. And so then it's just kind of sat here unfinished. So now that my right hand is working again, both hands are working again, maybe I could come back and add those details. This was another left hand project. Not my greatest work. It's my left hand. I'm fine with it. Moving on. Oh, this was another left hand. So I started kind of filling in details here on the birds themselves, and then also like in the background. It's not a page I'm super proud of or that I like very much even. Is it worth finishing? Maybe. This guy's pretty cute. It might be worth adding some finishing details to these and then the designs in the background. I don't have a lot to say about that. It's not great. This was another left-hand project. I was attempting, obviously, to paint some trees with my left hand. It's fine for a left-handed piece. I'm not going to spend any more time on it. This is a page that still needs to be done. I think this was when my right hand was just coming back. Yeah, I think I had some other things here that I covered. I was pretty happy with this turtle. Everything else, meh. So I might just do some design, some pattern work on these. This is my interpretation of the Northern Lights that we were privileged to see in our front yard earlier this summer. And then that's the final spread. Not really sure what that is. Okay, so let's finish a few of these pages. All right, it is several days later now. I've been working in this book a little bit more, and I've decided I'm officially done. So I will just flip through and show you all the finished pages. Most of these will not have changed much from what I showed you earlier in the video, but I did add a little bit. I guess it's mostly toward the end. I did add some just color around the outside of these pages I showed you earlier, just because I like to fill in all the blank spaces. The rest of these are the same. I still hate the ones I hate. I added, as you saw, some black line work here. I like that it just fills in and makes it look a little more complete. Can't remember if I showed you this. It's got gold pen inside the centers of the flowers. That's a nice finish. I didn't do anything with this. My left-hand stuff. I did semi-finish this one. Just added some swirls and outlined the birds. I like this concept. I want to do it again with my right hand this time. As I mentioned before, this was left-handed mostly. you saw me working on this one, and then my 7-year-old asked if she could do one and I could do the other. So this is a drawing of poppies that I did, but then I cut out and glued in here, and she did this princess cat for me. She's a little obsessed with cats. So that's fun. I will probably add a little journaling section that explains that Edith did this one, the date, that kind of thing. This one I just kind of played around with white gel pen and gold gel pen over the top of those 3 spaces that I had covered up. And then finally, I have had on my shelf for a while this jar that my oldest child made for me about 4 years ago for it was my 38th birthday. And they just filled it with these little strips of paper, 38 reasons why I think you're great. And they wrote just little love notes on each one, which was super fun. And is that light on? Ooh, lighting is bad. I apologize. Maybe that's a little better. Okay. So yeah, they just wrote me these little notes, and I had them in the jar that they were given to me in, but I wanted to preserve those, and so I just glued them in on the final page of the spread. So that's that, a completed sketchbook. I probably will not work in this size again. I didn't really love it, but I'm glad that it's done. And now I can move on to something else. Thanks for watching.